Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod, and we're playing as Poland, Lithuania. Last time around we fought the Russians at Don Visco, we crossed the bridge, and we kind of had a sort of a pike and shot formation, which I think I will use more with this army, but more than in the field. It didn't really work super well at the bridge, but I think that's a pretty good formation that we should continue to use. However, we don't have the movement range, or yes we do actually, but the thing is I lost kind of a lot of men, and the thing is the Russians are retreating, and I think I have the upper hand holding the territory, so I think we're not gonna pursue them as of now anyways. With that said, we don't really have any more battles on the Russian front, as I kind of elected to not go ahead and charge the sieges that I'm laying, and the army under Krakowski has yet to reach Moscow, so we're going to jump over to the Austrian side. We did fight one here, we do have a siege here, but I'm not going to force this siege because it's going to be even worse than the one in Russia, because it's a large fort and there's tons of troops inside the fort, and it's just going to be a mess if I try to fight that one. We do have this smaller one here, but I'm thinking it's not particularly favorable for me to attack, so I think this is another one where we'll just lock the enemy in and try to starve them out and get them to attack us. So that leaves, before end turn, that leaves these fights over here. So we would have Zadislav Furdal and his army advance along the Croatian coast up towards the point of well, where they keep the big army with loads of troops. Alternatively, this army swinging up, trying to snipe out Austria. The thing, or Vienna. The thing is, I don't think we'll make it to Vienna in one turn, even if we win the battle here. So we will kind of be caught in the midway, and then all of these can just pile on and absolutely destroy the winged hussars. So that's not a plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this army and we're going to march up here for as long as possible, and then when we kind of get close enough we'll prepare for a fight. But given that there's so many troops, I think what we'll do is probably auto-resolve this one, play this one, and that will be the video. And then for the next time I'll just advance them as close as I can to these, so that it reinforces once the winged hussars move in. Now I don't like this forested area, because that's going to hinder the movements of my winged hussars. But I think we have no other choice. I really don't want to give up the momentum and have the Austrians move into our territory. I mean, after all, we declared war on them in kind of a surprise war. It would be not that great if it turned around against us. So we have a small force here holding this village, 1200 men under Patrick Gross. We have an army of 7,500 men, so we should hopefully crush them. Unfortunately, because, well, the general is newly recruited and it's only 3 stars, the enemy was able to actually put up quite the defense, and we lost 1,500 men compared to the defenders. The defenders, of course, lost everything, but damn, that's high losses, and it's mostly line infantry, also some grenadier guards, which almost lost half the unit, or more than half the unit actually. So very bad maneuver there by him, but it was such a small battle that I couldn't really play it, could I? Anyways, we have taken the first step, which is the water-powered cloth mill at Split. Now we're gonna move on to Vodis wine estate. And we're gonna strike there. I'm hoping they cannot receive reinforcements from up north. But even if they can, that's probably just as well, as we'll drag just one of these probably out of the fight there. But with that, let's march up and fight here. Okay, so it's Norbert Onknell that's gonna protect it. It's 5,000 men. And since we have lost 1,500 men already, we're down to 600 men in this campaign. And yeah, or 6,000 men. Did I say 600? 6,000, I mean, of course. Their army is kind of scattered. Not unlike what I have recruited for mine, but it is a little bit more organized. I do have the advantage in everything, really, against them. Especially since I have a general. And yeah, that's all we're gonna say before the battle. So without further ado, let's take this vineyard and inch one step closer to destroying the main Austrian force down here at whatever this port is called. I have deployed my army accordingly. So we've got 3 big lines of line infantry, one in front here, one here and one back here, and those are the major infantry formations. We've got the Grenadier Guards back here, which comprise of 4 regiments, some of which have taken quite heavy casualties, as the normal size is 250 and this one's down to 100, so I lost 150 in that outer assault. We've got some light infantry ready to take the forest ahead of us. And that's all for the infantry. Then to the cavalry, which is deployed on the wings. New cavalry, which I don't think we've seen before, which is the Royal Polish Cuirassier Guard, which looks like this, kind of like winged hussars, but with small wings on the helmet instead of on the back. And that's how they look. They all carry pistols, so if you want you can stop and fire pistols in the back of units if you don't want to charge straight in. And over here we've got the Trabant cavalry, which looks kind of like what you normally see, sort of the, what they're called, the musketeers of the French king, kind of look like that. These guys also have pistols, and it's a heavy cavalry unit. I've got 3, so my main plan is to go in the open ground with these, to go across and then swing down upon the enemy, while these are more just here in case the enemy advances with cavalry over here. And I should move the cannons from the position I have right now. I think what we'll do, they've got massive range compared to the howitzers, so I can place them how far away I want from the battle and still be able to shoot anything. So I think we'll place them over here to kind of protect over the cavalry. And with that, let's start the battle, and we're going to start off by having the light infantry advance into the forest. So we'll see what the Austrians do. So the Austrians have lined up their artillery over here, which is soon about to receive a volley of my artillery. Both round shot and explosive from my howitzers to blow them to bits. And let's see if we can't blow the Austrian cannons to shit before they start to harass us. Some of the units of the Austrians is, I don't know if they've got American mercenaries, but the Landwehr militia look kind of like Davy Crockett clones moving forward, which looks a bit weird. Looks very much out of place. The enemy artillery is focusing in on one of my cavalry guard units, which I thought kind of they were gonna do. The enemy is slowly advancing. And I think what we want to do is, you know what, I'll take the guys in the back here. And I want to kind of secure this little field, because we can hide behind the structures there. I want to advance some of these units to link the lines. God, what's that small unit? Kind of messing up everything. It's this one. You're not gonna follow then. You're gonna be in reserve. Bye. You go and guard the artillery. So we'd advance that way. We need some units, so these two, to guard just behind the light infantry. And then I think we'll place these guys as reserve for the main line. And well, these are the reserve of the reserve. And as it seems, most of the Austrian infantry is kind of moving this way. I do not like the fact that the howitzers have stopped. Have we blown all the enemy's artillery to pieces? Because why others? Oh, they don't reach. Well, if you fire round shot, the howitzers should be able to reach the enemy artillery, which I really want to break down. And we're going to do the same with our cannons, but we're going to aim for the one here. So we're going to blow them away. We've got a bit of fire being exchanged. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get fully across, but that's just as well, because it's actually better to hide behind the stone wall, isn't it? And we're going to have this one just go out here. The enemy kind of smartened up and looks like they're pulling back as they see we have a really strong position. Enemy cavalry is riding up, firing. So their dragoons rode up, shot, and then retired. As of now, our lines are holding as we're firing back and forth. Look like they're might do a push or some kind of charge over here. The cuirassiers of the enemy, the Leopold, charging across the open ground, kind of by the cover of the infantry there, and they strike one of our units, which will form into square to protect it. The light infantry is firing against grenadiers and militia moving up. And I think it's time for the cavalry to move in. So the heavy cavalry will now swing up. We've got some kind of specialist regiment moving up against us, and the light infantry over on this side, you know what? We'll tell all light infantry to pull back as they're getting completely overrun. There's another point where they're charging in. Just fired a volley there to kind of stop them. And the militia is pulling back, but the grenadiers are fighting on. The square is holding. These two lines, even if they break, I do have my grenadier guards ready to move up. We're going to move up these two there, and these two to move here. But the main point now is kind of the cavalry, which is lining up. So they fire their pistols and took out a few. I think we might be able to fire once more before the enemy actually gets time to properly get into position. And I think that's enough for pistol shots. It's time for the heavy cavalry to charge in. Also get the Fusiliers before they set down those spikes. We're going to tell them to hold fire as well. The Thurheim regiment is forming square, but I don't know how well that will go against the heavy cavalry, and seeing their ally regiments run. And also there's actually 3 of them fighting that square. I'm gonna pull these guys back, as it seems that my grenadier guard is doing quite the number on the enemy. And it looks like the enemy's grenadier are winning here, plus they've got some Freikorps infantry and other stuff that's doing quite a bit of damage. We are stronger in the flank where we're winning, so what we'll do is we'll have these guys retire. And then I think we'll have the actual large regiments move forward. In this case, this one, this Fusilier regiment is moving past our square and going on to these guys. But they're being hit from two sides. Let's see, I want the heavy cavalry now. Kind of piling on where the Austrians are breaking through in the center. And the line infantry regiment just broke. I do think the heavy cavalry, given that the grenadiers are a bit tired most likely at this point, we might be able to push through that. And even if we aren't, then I can just push my infantry forward and they will shoot the enemy in the back. Now I do think the Grenadier Guards normally fire one by one in kind of a fire by rank. But they might have gone into this mode as cavalry was approaching. We've got a cavalry charge going into our strong point here, but it's provincial cavalry, and they've already taken quite a lot of casualties, so I don't think they will go anywhere. There's some regiments of Fusilier, Freikorps regiment, the Grenadiers. My cavalry is now going to get sandwiched by these just Hungarian hussars coming in our back, which I don't think is going to make that big of an impact on our line. Oh, looks like our cavalry has broken through, and we can kind of go through the entire front line here. Also, I kind of want to redirect the artillery at this point. We have a few units in the back. These garrison foot guards, I want to blow them away. And then we're gonna see about the howitzers. I'm gonna get explosive shots, and that Fusilier, we're gonna blow them away. So most of the Austrian troops are kind of pulling back. The cavalry will concentrate on the hussars. We have lost a lot of cavalry here. It might very well be because we're inflicting a lot of friendly fire. Let's chase these guys off. And we'll blow these guys up with the artillery. The Grenadiers approached the area over here. Oh, it's Dragoon Grenadier Guards. But they were sent away. What we can do is actually take these two, send them out on the flank, and then shoot the guys, kind of surround them. Also, we are able here to put down quite the effective fire on the square. I'm gonna tell my cavalry to kind of pull away here, and then we're just gonna let everyone just gun the rest of the enemy troops down. As there's not much left. The Freikorps infantry is pulling back. The Fusiliers are pulling back. And it looks like every Austrian unit at this point is pulling back. And we are victorious. But quite heavy casualties still for our units. But there we have it. We broke the enemy and we sent them off, and I guess we can merge a lot of the line infantry units and stuff. And since this is basically going to be just a there's going to be support of the main army, which is going to be the winged hussars, which are going to charge down on the main port of the enemy there. But yeah, there we have it. Let's go back to the campaign map and see just how where the enemy retreats and so forth, and how the situation is laid up, and how we will set up for the next one, which will be the attack on the port. And here we have the results. 1,800 men lost on our side, 4,000 then remaining out of our, at the start of the campaign, 7,500. However, the enemy lost a lot more this time compared to the out-resolve. They lost 4,100, leaving only 1,000 men left, scurrying for the hills. Highest killer goes down to the Polish Royal Cuirassiers, 2 units. Then we have a line infantry, probably the one that was charged there because only 34 of them remain. Then we have more line infantry, but a lot of these Royal Polish Cuirassiers. And 1 howitzer. So let's see, they're pulling up and they're gonna go to that port up here. Well, this is actually the main port. I don't know why I call this the main port. This is the big fishery. The big fishery. So I think, just to make sure that this kind of holds up, and the thing is I can recruit a lot more of these line infantry units. So what I'll do is I'll merge a lot of these, because there's no point in having, you know, like a 29-man unit turn up for the next battle. So we'll go ahead and merge a lot of these to get most of these up to the 300-man mark. We got 2 there, they can merge, and then these 48 can be split in between this one and this one, and that should kind of leave us with full units all around. The light infantry, we got one there with 10, could be merged in with this one, and then these 2 could be merged. And then so I see 135 there, which can be merged in there. The cavalry we're not going to merge, even though they've lost quite a lot of men. So there, now this army should be ready, and it should be stationed so that it can support so they can support the main attack. So I think from here it should be able to support as the Cuirassier army would be moving forward. The thing is, I think once I move into area here, the enemy will go ahead and seize the opportunity to intercept us. And the fight is going to be up here. And you know what? We'll pull into it already now. Yes. So there we get intercepted. So it's 13,000 men in reinforcement for this 4,000 army that goes in to intercept us. So what is that? 17,000 men, roughly, against our 7,000 plus, what did he have left? He had about 5,000, or what did he have? 4,000 maybe. I can't remember. Something like that. So we have, let's say we have 12,000 men against. So that gives them an advantage of 5,000 men. However, I will have my strong army ready right from the start, defending the hills here. But this video, or this battle, will be for the next video. And so for now, what I'll say is, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!